Hi guys, welcome you all to my channel Daily-Endodontics-by-Viresh, where today we'll be discussing about performing an endodontic access cavity in a maxillary molar. Now before we start performing an endodontic access cavity, let's learn some basics about the internal morphology of a maxillary molar. As we all know, maxillary molar basically has three roots, namely the mesiobuccal, distobuccal and the palatal root. Therefore, it has three root canal orifices, which are named after these three roots and are called as mesiobuccal, distobuccal, and palatal root canals, respectively. However, there is high incidence of finding a fourth canal, which we call it as MB2 canal, and the orifice of MB2 canal is most commonly present somewhere between MB1 and palatal. It can be closer to MB1 as you can see on the screen, or it can be somewhere between MB1 and palatal, as you can see just now that it is actually in the center of MB1 and palatal. Now once we are well aware of the morphology, let's see how to perform an access cavity, and let's see what are the signs that show in a tooth that there is an extra canal present. It can be an MB2 canal, it can be a palatal canal, but the important point is that we need to look for an extra canal. Whenever we get a tooth for root canal, it is mostly caries. So therefore the first and the foremost step is to excavate the peripheral caries first. Use a round burr as you can see on the screen, but do not put any pressure while doing excavation of this peripheral caries, because round burrs are working at a high speed. So we know that once we touch this round burr in motion on the tooth structure, it will cut the tooth. We don't need to create any pressure there. So just with the brushing action, as you can see on the screen, just with this brushing action, remove the peripheral caries, remove any unsupported tooth structure, or you can say a weak tooth structure, and then go ahead towards the center of the tooth. Do not leave any peripheral caries and then go towards the center and make an access cavity. We are not in a hurry because the patient is under LA, patient is under rubber dam, patient is comfortable. So we are not in a hurry to jump into the pulp chamber right now. Once we have excavated the carious lesion with this brushing action and we know that it has been clearly done and there is no peripheral caries, this is the time when we need to use our DG16 Explorer or the Endodontic Explorer and check our periphery. Once we confirm that the periphery is sound, this is the time when we need to move towards the central caries, and with the same brushing action just excavate the central carious lesion. If the carious lesion is approaching the pulp, you will see an exposure. But if you are doing heavy-handed dentistry, or you need to jump into the access cavity or the pulp chamber, then you will feel a drop. Once you see the exposure, confirm that exposure site with the DG16 Explorer or the Endodontic Explorer, so that we know that we have entered the pulp chamber. This is the entry to the pulp chamber. Before putting any instrument, kindly please irrigate to remove the debris from that particular area and have a clear visibility. Irrigation is one of the most important steps, but yes, at the same time, one of the most ignored steps. Once the exposure is confirmed, this is the time when we change our burr to Endo Z burr. It's a non-end cutting burr. Touch the burr till the point of resistance and then lift it 0.5 millimeter so that you don't touch the floor, and therefore by doing this we are actually avoiding to cause any pulpal floor perforations or touching the pulpal floor. Now we need to de-roof the pulp chamber completely. Yes, there are a lot of newer access cavities, conservative access cavities into the picture, but right now we are talking about how to perform an ideal access cavity. So once we know that this is the depth where we found the drop or we found the exposure, we don't need to do any vertical cutting anymore. You can see on the screen right now the burr is only cutting on the lateral aspect of the wall, not in a vertical direction. So the movement has to be only lateral, and you need to cut wall by wall. How do we know that this is the periphery of the access cavity? That can be known when the enamel, dentine and the junction of the pulpal floor to the axial wall comes in one line. We have to move our DG16 Explorer in that particular area and see that the wall, axial wall is smooth. And once that is confirmed, that is basically the boundary peripheral extent of that particular wall in for the excess cavity. So we don't need to extend. Once that wall is done, we need to do every wall like that. And once we have a clear visibility where all the axial walls, enamel, dentine, the junction of the pulpal floor to the axial wall, all are in one line, that is the peripheral extent of the excess cavity. And this is where we don't need to do any cutting with the burr anymore. Now whatever canals are basically present in this particular area only. So we need to use our DG16 Explorer and found the orifices, soft spot, soft dentine, and then place a 8K file or a 10K file to check for the canal patency. Now basically canal patency is a step which tells the dentist how the canal feels like. This is your first introduction with the canal. So we have to be very gentle, introduce a 10K file and do not rotate the file completely inside the canal. We have to introduce the file by giving a quarter turn or doing a watch winding motion. But please, no active cutting to be done here. Once we confirm the orifices, if we are not using any rotary system, then we need to widen the orifice by using Gates Glidden drill, as you can see on your screen. But we have to be gentle. Place the Gates Glidden drill on the orifice and just rotate in a circular motion so that we widen it. Do not do any outside to inside motion. What we have to do is we have to maintain the motion from inside to outside. There are high chances that if we are not able to use the GG drill in the correct way as prescribed, then we might cause a perforation. So therefore, gently place a GG drill, use it in a circular motion to widen the orifice, and then use it by taking it from the inside to outside direction, not otherwise. Otherwise we will be causing perforation there. So once this is done and all orifices are enlarged, we need to use irrigation for clear visibility, and this is the time when we have to introduce a 10K file again gently and see till what point it goes, or in other words we can say that it has to go to the point of resistance, but do not force. Once it goes to the point of resistance, take it out and measure on the file. This is the correct point where basically if we have all the three canals, we can negotiate with a 10K file and confirm with an Endodontic Explorer. Once three canals are seen, check the dentinal map as you can see on the screen. Follow the dentinal map, and this dentinal map will basically take you wherever any extra canal is present. In this case, there seems to be an extra canal closer to the palatal root canal. Confirm with the DG16 Explorer whether we are basically finding a catch. Once that catch is seen, then gently place a 10K file and again with a watch winding motion, gently place the file inside. Again I am saying no active cleaning to be done here, no force to be applied. We have to be really gentle, and once that extra canal is confirmed, with the similar way, use your Endo Z burr, extend the cavity there. If we are not using endodontic ultrasonics, just extend the cavity, enlarge the orifice with GD drill and irrigate. Kindly do not ignore the irrigation part, because this is the most important part but the most ignored one. We are not able to devote enough time to irrigation, but it can actually do magic if done properly. So this completes us with an endodontic access cavity in a maxillary molar, and I hope that this video has been helpful to each one of us in making a proper access cavity and knowing how to basically locate an extra canal. Thank you so much guys. I would like to thank each one of you for sparing time and coming down to my channel to watch this video at Daily-Endodontics-by-Viresh, and myself, I would like to request each one of you that if you feel any topic to be covered through these videos, kindly write down in the comments. I would be really thankful to you for a sincere feedback. So right now I am signing off. Bye to all of you, and I hope you all live and love endodontics. So thank you guys once again, and we see you soon with more upcoming videos on excess cavities, instrument retrievals, perforation repairs, cleaning and shaping, and obturation. So endodontics is just evolving. Take care. Have a nice day. Bye bye.